Oh, that's a wonderful question. Be kind and compassionate is asking, is it because of the lack of self-love that we tolerate toxic behaviors? Well, that's not the only thing. It's not just the lack of self-love. It's a lot of other stuff like, sometimes we have the core belief about toxic behaviors. Say, I'm going to say this like, what is a core belief first of all? Core belief is while you're growing up, you develop a certain belief about yourself and about the life at large, right? About the world at large. Now, let me give an example. Suppose you were growing up and in the growing up age, you saw your parents not getting along well. And their behavior towards each other was quite dysfunctional, was quite toxic. They were abusive, or they may be not on the same page. If somebody is saying A, the other person is saying Z, and all the time there is this conflicting arguments going on at home. You as a child are looking at the parents from a third party view. And when you're looking at the parent from a third party view, what's going on in your space is, okay, my mother thinks she's right, my father thinks he's right. They are on their own, they're saying I'm right and I'm right. And I'm seeing from this point of view that they both are arguing and fighting, but at the end they're living under the same roof and they are together. This looks like love. Your definition at the young age, looking at that relationship becomes love is arguments. Love is sacrifice. Love is giving a lot, receiving very little. Love is angry. Love is pain. Right? So you develop a decision, you develop a belief at a very young age, what is love for you? If you had done this research and I had asked more than 100 people, what is love for you? And every person in the room had answered a different definition of love. Your definition of love is based on what you saw as a young child. And especially, maybe your parents love you unconditionally. Maybe your parents are with you individually. Together as parents, they love you. But when they become individuals and when they love each other, they have this whole definition, which is a twisted definition. Now, as a child, you're developing a definition. Parents' love is unconditional, if it is unconditional. Or parents' love is very critical. Parents' love means if you've gone through some sort of a mental, physical, emotional abuse with parents, parents' love is abusive. Now, you're developing a definition of parents' love in a certain way in that scenario. You're developing a couple relationship love in a different way. At large, how love looks like for you, you're developing that definition at a very young age. And when you grow up, you start just simply living by that definition of love, by attracting your friends, by attracting your social circle, by attracting your partner. Or at large, even the working professionals and bosses or team members, those who just simply reciprocate to you that definition. Now, it's I explained this very detail in my 3-day workshop, Ultimate Success Champion. Those of you who have attended it, you know how I teach this on the day 2 itself, like how your definition that you have developed as a child is going into reciprocating your entire life and creating the whole life for yourself. So when you say, is it because of lack of self-love we tolerate toxic behaviors? That's a very small part, because most people don't know what self-love is. It's not about self-love, it's about what your definition of love is, that basically that allows you to attract the toxic love or toxic relationships or toxic behaviors of people. So a part of it is you have to do the reparenting to that inner child of yours who's feeling love's definition. So just check what's your definition of love, and probably it's a time for you to reparent yourself, creating a different definition of love. And it's a journey, it won't happen overnight, because that child inside you is still there, who's hurt, who's humiliated, who's rejected, betrayed, probably whatever it is, and is still there, who's feeling the same way. So there's a lot goes into reparenting yourself and developing a different definition of love, so that you then start attracting respect, understanding, trust faith, support, care, whatever is now your new definition of love is. Okay? So, you, from the definition of love that you have, from the definition that you want to create, it's a journey and you have to go on that journey. Okay, I hope this helped you, and if this helped you, type help in the chat box. Help.